So why engineer struggle growing up in their career and they are always stuck into the role? Like you might be a SOC analyst and you're still a SOC analyst, you might not be having any luck to grow in your career as an architect. Let me know in the comment. Or something along those lines. You want to see yourself growing, but you might have been stuck, and it relates to my personal story as well, which I will share with you. And then how did I deal with that, and what did I do to guard out of it, because you don't want to stuck in that one role for quite a so long. You like to be challenged, or at least I like to work on different tools and technologies, because I will be bored honestly if I keep working on Azure Sentinel or something like that, right? So if you are thinking along the same line, this video is for you. So those who don't know about myself, my name is Nan, and I'm based out of US, New Jersey, and I have worked for Fortune 30 companies, top Fortune top Fortune 30 companies, Big Four, large enterprises, data centers, and been in the industry for more than 15 years, quite a long time. And when I have also participated in many roadshows and helped Microsoft back in days when we used to have a Microsoft Exchange, when there was no Microsoft 365 and Azure and cloud even did not exist. Yes, so let's get back to the topic of, if you are struggling in your career and you're not moving, I'll give you some of the pain points. Why? What is causing you? And then you have to go back and look into that. And I'm sure you'll find the answer by yourself, because everyone is unique, but that things is same. So one of the thing is, when you are an engineer, when I used to be an engineer back in days, I used to manage email security, email infrastructure. I was very focused in Microsoft Exchange, and that was a demand that time. You know, you are Exchange expert, you were like a SQL guy, you were like a Active Directory. There was a huge demand back in days in 2010, along those timeline. But that was a tool when you were focused on the tool, and tools were in demand, like Microsoft tools, Cisco. If you are a Cisco CNA or CCIE, Cisco routers, you know, those were the tools in demand. But if you have the same mindset today, this is not going to work in 2026, especially the way the AI is happening, and already see the AI in different tools. So you can relate yourself, think what you used to do maybe 2 years ago. You don't need to be doing the same thing, because with the AI you can achieve a lot of stuff, and fancy tools we have in AI, machine learning, for even for the SOC analyst or SOC engineering. There are many tools available which can do a lot of job much better, easier, and faster. So basically, for you as a job, you need to know how to use the tool. But again, you don't have to be a tool specific. If you are working on one tool, I think then you have to plan accordingly, and you have to diversify your experience. So don't get stuck to that tools, because that's not going to help you grow in your career. Second thing is, security is a very broad domain. If you really want to go into the tool where you are a beginner, it's always good to know the depth of one area, which you already have done it. Many people are here security engineer, so you have done it, you have seen it. Being an expert in Microsoft, being an expert in Azure Sentinel, for example. Now, if you've been working, Sentinel is the example I'm giving, but it can be any SIEM tool. And if you've been playing around with that for more than 2 or 3 years, now you have to think broadly, because that SIEM tool is just very specific tool when it comes to cybersecurity. Do not ignore endpoint security. Do not ignore vulnerability management. Do not ignore API security. Do not ignore data security, encryption, identity and access management. I can go on, and every topic I'm talking here can go up to all the very senior role or an architect role. Like, we need data security architect, right? We need DevSecOps engineer. We need encryption, or engineers as well, right? So these roles, like vulnerability management, has always been the Microsoft or the overall cybersecurity basically role. So But now in 2026, we have different roles. Cloud, with the cloud, we have identity and access management, or IAM analyst, or being a cloud security engineer, you should know. So that's not a typical security. So if you look at that, we have a lot of changes in 2016 with these different type of roles. And so you need to think broadly if you're going to grow in that area. How are you going to help the organization? And the only way is that you need to have the very broad knowledge. So as you grow in your career, you need to have overall knowledge, and you're managing the overall security of the organization. That's the security posture management, and that's how you go all the way up to the CISO level, where I'll add some more, but that's, I'm talking about technical thing. So once you're in a technical role for quite a few years, then people are not thinking. I've seen many people, they are stuck up on the tools and technology without understanding. And that's why the businesses, when you work with them, don't like cybersecurity people, because as a cybersecurity guy, you want to block everything because everything has to be secure. I get it. And the best way to secure everything, unplug the network. But business, end of the day, needs support. If you do this, you're not going to run the business. So business has to run, and business feed the cybersecurity. So what can you do? You have to understand in that situation, if you are proposing something, you got to make sure what's the risk to the business. So I'll give you very one basic example is the vulnerability scan. You get those vulnerabilities scan report. So usually you don't want to get to fix all the vulnerabilities right at the point, because vulnerabilities are today, you can go and look up the data, you can find out, okay, what vulnerabilities are there, critical, high, medium, and low, right? And then you have to analyze and assess, because some cases critical needs to be fixed. But guess what? I've seen environment. What if that workload does not exist in your environment? So that critical fix is not even fixable because it's not applicable to your environment. So in that situation, that critical is not critical anymore. If that critical vulnerability released and showed up in the database for SQL Server, and if you do not have a SQL Server, so you're good, right? So that's the case. But again, if you have a low risk, and then after the vulnerability scan report, but that database has a low risk vulnerability, but that can be exploited easily, and that database might have some sensitive data. So that's even a higher risk in your situation, in your scenario. So that's kind of a thing you have to start thinking when it comes to those situations. That's a business risk, and there's a whole different career path for that. You can be growing in that as well, especially in 2026. There are so many new roles, which as we go on, I'll talk about it. So those are the points I wanted to share with you that might be not helping, and you might be stuck in that particular role. So those are the important thing. And overall, one of the mistakes I've been doing myself, and I've seen many engineers doing I've seen it, and I've done it, so I can talk about myself also, is not documenting the process. Let me know in the documenting. Let me know in the comments if you are one of those engineers who don't like document. I used to be one of those, but that was one of the biggest mistake. You know, and if you're watching me, learn from my mistake. You want to make sure you document everything. So today we have a lot of tools, ITCM products like ServiceNow and everything. Documentation is there for change management, but that's change related. But again, if you are writing something, proposing something, make a document, make a draft, make a proposal, make a habit of writing. This will really help you grow, because that's one of those things always will help you if you want to grow in your career to a senior leadership role. This is very, very important. The more you want to work close to the business, this, I'm telling you, is 80% of the job happens when you want to grow in your career. So make sure learn it, because these things are that can be learned. It's not like you cannot learn it. The hardest skill you already learned, how to set up firewalls, all those complex scenarios, configuration, playbooks, data connector, APIs, configuration, we all do it. But when it comes to the easy part, which is documentation, we suck at it, right? So make a habit of learning. So this will help you huge and significantly in your career. So these are the reasons I wanted to share with you. If you're not growing in your career and stuck as a SOC analyst, think about it. Go back and let me know in the comments. And you might have also, if you have some better creative idea, you can also put in the comment. That being said, I hope this is a good informative video for you. And let me know which country you're from. I'm planning on doing some contest with you in your country. If that works, if that makes sense, let me know. And with that said, I will be giving some more guidelines or different roles with AI in 2026. So stay tuned for the next one. Thanks so much and bye.